Hey everyone, this is Jesse with Nintendo Revise, and I'm coming back with another video where I am testing yet another Five Nights at Freddy's game, and this time we are going to be testing Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Yes, I know, I just put up a test regarding security breach for the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise on the Nintendo Switch from the Cartridge build, and now we are doing Help Wanted. So I actually played this relatively quickly after doing Security Breach, as I was on a Five Nights at Freddy's kick, so here we go. As all my tests are generally done, we are doing the test from the Cartridge build, which is version 1.23 on Cart, and the revision number is 000. Now at the time of testing, there is actually a patch available to version 1.25. Again, this test was done without any of the patches downloaded. For context, for this test, I actually did complete the main campaign, which includes beating all the minigames. Now, this game, unlike most of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, are based upon multiple minigames that the player must beat. Every single minigame that became available to me was completed. I obtained every token, which is this game's collectibles. I obtained every hidden tape. I also obtained every prize in the prize counter area, and I obtained the secret ending. Now, just for context as well, the DLC, which is Curse of the Dreadbear, is not included on the cart. You can find remnants of this on the cartridge, and what I mean by that is when you go to the prize counter, there's going to be multiple things that are hidden behind a question mark, and behind this question mark there is additional collectibles that I was not able to collect because these are related to the Curse of Dreadbear DLC, which again is not on the cartridge. So outside of those prizes, I was able to obtain everything from the main campaign. Really, only minor issues occurred during my playthrough of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted, and one of the minor issues that I noticed was pop-in. Now the pop-in that I'm mentioning is basically when things are loading in. Otherwise, there is no pop-in, and it's fine. And what I mean is when I went into a minigame and I loaded that minigame, when things were loading in, you would see some things pop in, and then afterwards it would stabilize and it would just remain as normal. And that happens rather quickly, so it is relatively minor. It's just within seconds. There is also minor slowdown that can occur from time to time. This usually happens during the main stage area and not within the minigames themselves, so this did not affect gameplay in any way. There's also a little speck effect which occurs from time to time. This is mostly noticeable in really dark areas. That doesn't affect gameplay. I'm not really sure if this is a decision that the devs made to have like little specks flying around the screen, or if it's just a minor bug. I'm not really sure, but there is an effect there nonetheless that is very noticeable. The controls are also a little bit clunky. Now keep in mind this is a VR game that's coming over to a non-VR console. Now I did adjust to the controls fairly quickly myself, but it is a hard learning curve, especially at the beginning. Also, some of the options related to controls can only be adjusted from the title screen. So if any changes needed to be made while I was actually playing, I had to exit, go to the title screen, and then change those settings, and then go back into the game proper. This was an annoyance in my opinion, as I wish the settings were just available at any point of the game, especially if I needed the camera to be a little bit quicker within certain minigames that required more quick reflexes. Otherwise, the controls, like I said, are a little bit clunky and hard to get used to, but once you get used to them, it is a fairly good experience as far as controls go. The most major thing that I believe happened is related to software crashes. Now, I actually got 8 to 9 software crashes. This is definitely a lot comparatively to most other tests that I've done for any other game, but I seem to have discovered what exactly could cause these particular software bugs, and I think it's related to the prize counter area. This area really isn't required to play anything, it's just only to view the collectibles that you've collected during your playthrough, and almost every time that I access this area is when the crashes occurred. So they didn't really occur during the mini games. Now keep in mind also that this didn't happen at the beginning of my playthrough. This started happening towards the end of my playthrough. So once I stopped accessing this area, the software crashes just vanished, so to speak. And then once I collected everything, I just went back into the prize area and I was able to see that I collected everything and there was no need to go back in there after that point. Now keep in mind, it doesn't crash every time you go into the prize counter area, but it could happen enough times to crash out your game. As far as languages are concerned, I could only find English. It is possible that the languages are based on the system settings. There are no difficulty options that I could find, also no accessibility options. There is no DRM. I was able to run this game without a Nintendo account, and I played handheld mode on my Nintendo Switch OLED. Overall, this is a much better experience than Security Breach. As I mentioned in the previous video, that one had a lot of major issues. This one in particular runs fairly fine as long as you can get over the clunkiness of the controls and of course the software errors that may occur from time to time. I think this is a really good build of the game. Of course, the VR version of the game is probably going to be better because that's what the game is. It's a VR experience, and so therefore it's going to be experienced a lot better there. But overall, I wouldn't say this is bad by any means. Again, as I always do, in case you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section below and I will try to answer you as quickly as I can. Otherwise, if you have no further questions, thank you for watching this video of my test of Five Nights at Freddy's Help Wanted. Again, this has been Jesse from Nintendo Revised, out.